Here we're looking at our stock in focus here, and this is Netflix, and I thought it was a good, appropriate one to do because it's really had a pretty huge decline to the downside here, and it's trying to get it is getting some reaction off the lows here. You just got to keep in mind here, it's had a move from 300 down to around the 62 range, and then you see the rally back here, and then it was short-lived. It had to retest here, and now what you're seeing is the bounce after it hit a new low here, but you could see you're not seeing the same momentum in there, and now you're seeing another recovery or an attempt at a recovery. And we've always talked about this, that this is a very important, concept to understand because it happens so frequently that you really need to get a good handle on what your expectations is. And this is something that I always think is very important is expectation. What is your expectation on a stock? It has to be realistic based upon the history. If you think, I'm going to get back to 200 here, well, maybe that does happen. But in reality, you already know for a fact, history says that this was a prior swing high, and this was going to be, and it had more of a chance of going higher at that time because it just rallied and it just dropped from 300 to 62. So if it had any time to really rally up into the 200 range, it would be the first time. Just think of it as the momentum, and you're dropping a ball. I mean, with the momentum, the harder it does and the more recent it is, the more it's going to happen. It's kind of like this. You see the move, you see the bounce, then you see it come down, and then you see it kind of going like this because it loses that momentum, and it tries to figure out, am I going to come back higher? Am I going to absorb the pressure, or do I break because there's just too much selling pressure? And that's what happens in these kind of moves. It's very important to understand that. So when you look at it in this kind of context, then you could say, okay, well, we're seeing a recent buying off of the low here, and yeah, that can be short-lived, and we have to anticipate that kind of a potential here. We also could say, hey, well, there's a double bottom forming, so if it really can get above